What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, and this is going to be part 3 and probably the last part of the discussion that I've been doing with Lucas here on the channel. And Lucas, I think are you pretty excited about this one? I think this is going to be a fun one.
Oh, it's going to be a banger.
Because this is one that you and I absolutely are going to love to talk about because we do a lot of this. But
yep. Okay. Hit.
Well, before we do that. I left him on a cliffhanger in the last one.
You did.
But so what I wanted to talk with you in the last video about, so you know how we got Prime Battle LRs, right?
Oh, we got those 777 medals. We do. Yep.
Okay, so my idea is drop the category boost on the Prime Battle LRs on drop day.
Off the rip.
And then stop giving them flat boosts on release because it's just stupid. We're 9 years in. We don't need to have flat boosts on LRs and then wait another 2 years to easy A them to make them runnable.
You don't think 20,000 attack and defense is good, bud?
I think that it should just be turned into like at least 20% attack and defense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Literally, just get with the times.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like make them viable in the current meta and easy A them later when they're just not runnable in that meta at the time.
Right, because they're free to play. They're going to get power crept like pretty fast. Yeah. One would assume, right?
Yeah.
Make them runnable. They don't need to be phenomenal. Just make them runnable, and then later make them good.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like my biggest thing that I mean I think you and I have talked about this before. When they easy A units like immediately after they awaken them, they have hit their ceiling. They're not getting any better. That's where they are. They stopped right there. They're not getting any better. You're done. Essentially, you are done. But if they just give them the easy A kit that they're gonna do, and just make that their awakening, they'll be good. Yeah. You know, leave them good, and then when that easy A kit that is their now base form kit, when that is out of the meta, then easy A them from there. And make them better.
Yeah, I remember this conversation like for a lot of units, like Zarbon and Dodoria for like the worldwide.
Yep.
For 6 year worldwide.
Immediate trash.
Like, we're just like, wait, like that's it? When they were 120, like that's it? It's just like, oh my god, it's just immediate trash. And then like STR, like LR Goku Black, sick unit. Wouldn't it be cool if he wasn't easy 8, if that's just the way he was now, and then we had the opportunity to come back? It's like, yes, that would be phenomenal.
Or even like
celebration.
Yeah, or even like the year 7, like Goku and Chi-Chi and like the Vegeta and Bulma unit. Like,
yeah, that's just wrong.
You know, like what they gave them for an easy A, it should have just been their base form kit when they awakened them.
I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but how do we go from like the most goated play units of 6th anniversary, which was like Master Roshi and Tien and Roshi, and they were just goats. They came out of you could use them, you could run them in events, and you could do actual difficult content, and they were good.
You can run them right now in year 9.
Goku and Chi-Chi. Goku and Chi-Chi season.
Yeah.
You know, it's just...
what do we do? But don't forget about the LR Kid Trunks, Goten, and Gohan LR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like I understand that they're free to play, like it's cool, but like make these units usable, man.
Yeah. Please, for the love of God, especially on like anniversaries and hype celebrations and stuff, and like the banner units, all of those stuff, they should just all be good. The banner units, the free-to-play units, like there's no reason to make them like intentionally trash, or like I just don't understand like what they're trying to do with them. Like why even give them to us if they're just going to be completely fodder?
Yep.
What's the point of giving them outside of just like, hey, they're in your box, grind them?
Well, the one thing I also had here that I had the two like points that I had together with the Prime Battle LR is when we choose to do auto, give us a repeat mechanic and let us put in how many times we want to do the event, and it auto runs it.
Yeah, make it a premium feature. I don't care. I'll pay $3.99 or whatever. You want to charge me $6 for like Legends does for like the the 4 times speed or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to give me 4 times speed Dokkan? Sure. Just drop it. I'm waiting.
Well, I mean, it's basically like a auto clicker in the game for you, but you just choose how many times you want to do it. And it's like, hey, if you want to run the Prime Battle event 100 times, you just set it to 100 and just put your phone down and just let it do its thing. It's going to automatically restart and go again, restart and go again. And just, you can leave your phone and let it do it until it's done. Because it's so dumb, especially farming these Prime Battle LRs, to sit there and be like, oh, I got 5 medals. Oh, I got 5 medals again. Oh, I got 7. Oh, I got 5, and then 5, and then 5, and then 5, and then 5, and maybe if you get lucky, you get a 15 or a 20.
Yeah, if their thing is that they want you to be consistently, like, playing the game, it's like going through menus is not playing the game. And the only thing you're doing when you're farming is going click, click, okay, my leader's good, start, and then you're done. And you set it down again. Oh, click, click, oh, my leader's good, start. It's like, that's not, if it's that passive already, like, then there's not really a downside of just giving us something like that, unless like their metric of like, oh, they got to be like, we got to make them check the game every once in a while, right? Like, that's like the concern. So we got to check on the game, because that'll make them maybe do something else and like see the summon button. Maybe they'll see that super sale button down there.
Yeah, that super sale, and then that summon is right beside it. Maybe they'll buy some stones and summon after they've been farming Dr. Wheelo.
Yeah, just do it on. If you give them the auto option, then that's 100 less chances for every player to see the super sale button.
Yeah,
that's probably a conversation that's been had.
It's you know what, it probably is, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, that probably has come across one of the guys' desks who's like, yeah, no, we can't do that. That summon button is right there.
Didn't even know there's 13 days left.
Yep. But I think you had one other point that you wanted to talk about, didn't you?
Yeah, I had one more. I had one more point that I wanted to go over.
What you got?
Just a little one. Just a little one. Just a little one. Okay. So I am what you could call a connoisseur of Dokkan OSTs. Okay. I like my Dokkan OSTs. Do you like Dokkan OSTs, Russia?
I do actually love the Dokkan OSTs.
I love me some Dokkan OSTs. I know a lot of other people do. Okay, some people don't give a shit. They play the game on silent. They don't care. Okay, they're not people of culture. Okay, but I'm just like, I love Dokkan OSTs very much. And one thing, I actually asked for this like for a while inside the surveys. Actually, I was just like, look, I love the game music. I love to listen to it. It's really cool. It's just like some of it's very nostalgic. I want a way to listen to this more often. I was like, how about like a jukebox? I actually emailed Bandai about this at one point. And sure enough, shortly after, we got the burst mode. So I'm not saying I'm like solely responsible for like burst mode and the OSTs, right? I'm just saying I sent it in Bandai. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah. So we want an actual like jukebox within the game.
Well, no. So this is all I simply want. I love what they did with the burst mode coins, and I love what they're doing. I want it to just play on more than just the profile screen. Why is it when I do that it's just on the profile screen? I would love it if I could choose my song or whatever, and then have that go through my menus. Like the stages or whatever, like have the stage music be the stage music. That's totally cool. I get that. Because then you have your intros and all that other stuff with your units, like all that stuff, totally fine. Yep. But I mean, just going through your menus, if I can choose the OST that I want to play with just for like going through my box, going through the stages, going through like all of just the basic menus that like you would hear the normal title music, let the songs that we choose go through those menus, because I would really, really like that. Just to be able to change up the song. And I know like if they want to shut it off for like exclusive celebrations, totally fine. If they're just like, okay, we're turning off the jukebox functionality because we've got the 9th anniversary theme playing, and so we're just going to be shutting this off for a short time. Sure, go nuts. Go ahead, shut it off. The rest of the time, give me my fucking music. give me my Gallic Gun, Trunks, and Vegeta. Like, you know, like that's basically what I'm asking for.
Yeah, let me play the OSTs, and I want a different OST if I'm going through my team selection, if I'm looking through my box, or if I'm just sitting at the main menu. And hey, I'm tired of, you know, listening to the original OST. Let me change it to like the spooky one that they had for April Fools.
Exactly, just something like that. Like if they give us like future Gohan OST, the AGL one. Oh my god, I love that theme so much. That thing will never come off my screen. I'll just play it all the time. But I want it on my home screen. I don't just want it on my profile.
Oh, I agree. But I think one of the other things I think that they also need to implement, while if they do implement something with the music, give us a skip animation button for intro, active skills, and transformations.
Yeah.
You know, like,
well, how about some?
Hey, that is a point. That is a point. I guess I'll go ahead and throw that in there just because you said it. Skip button, skip summon button. Yeah, that's been needed for 9 years now.
Exactly. But so I completely agree with you. So all of that stuff that basically is just you can choose whether you want to see it or not, right? I mean, they're not losing anything by putting it in there. Oh, you don't want to break the immersion of like, Trunks' animation like coming in or something like that. It's like, okay, I've seen it 100 times though. And I understand they have like the thing where you can turn it off and all of that stuff. But what if we want to see it, but only sometimes? The easiest way to choose whether or not you want to see it is just by putting a little skip button in there.
Yeah, and the thing is now they've implemented it to where it's all under just one umbrella button. So it's like, it just skips all. So it's just like, hey, intro, active skills, and transformations. It's like, hey, you can just, you want to skip them? Well, you're going to skip all of them. And it's like,
right.
It's like, no, like maybe if you just leave it in and you just put a skip button on every single one, then you can get rid of that one skip all button. Like, if people want to skip it all, cool. Leave that button in there, they can skip all. But if also put a setting in there to where it adds a skip button, like the support memories, and let me select if I want to watch it or not. Because because there might be an intro that I want to watch, and hey, maybe there's an active skill I do want to watch again, or a transformation. Like, I want to see some of these. But the problem is at the same time, if I'm like link leveling, then no, I don't care about that. I can just turn them off completely. Don't worry about it. Cool. But if I'm doing like Dokkan events or something like that, or if I'm doing an event and I'm like, hey, I want to watch it, let me watch it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's very situational, right? And that's why, is because the current mechanics in the game don't play into how the user wants to interact with them. And I think the best thing that you have is like a happy medium, really, is just like the play once per day. That's what I do. It's like I play once per day.
Yeah.
Is because it's okay, like I get to see it, but even then, sometimes I'm not in the mood. But guess what? Oh, I'm in the middle of it. So it should just be situational, like you were talking about the support memory. Up in the corner, I can either choose to watch it or not.
Yep. Which I feel like they can easily implement that. I don't know if it's like a licensing thing or something like that they have to do, but I feel like they got to have a way that they can add that in.
I don't think it would be anything, because I mean it's already in the game. I mean, there's nothing with that. It should literally just be okay. Like, if it's in the middle of it, you can just skip it. Should be fine.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if we complain enough, maybe they'll change it around again.
Yell.
But hey, one of the other changes I want to see. So they changed this, and I originally was like, hey, that's a cool idea. But then now, like, as time has gone on, I've realized that I actually really hate it.
Okay.
Drop 10 SBR and ESBR stages at once again.
Oh.
I can't tell you how much I hate having to wait until like the following month.
Rush is impatient.
You know what I mean? Like,
he doesn't want to. It's my content and I need it now.
But the thing is, like, it's fun at that point. It gives you more things to do. And, like, hey, they just dropped what was a powerful comeback on Global. And it's like, hey, cool, we got one stage. Hey, you're going to run it with one team. You're going to beat it real quick, and you're probably not going to touch it again.
Probably not.
Whereas now you get other units like, hey, Turles isn't a powerful comeback. I can't even use Turles in this new SBR stage. But if you give me 10 stages and I can use him in, 2 or 3 of them, it gives me a chance to actually use the unit on more difficult things than, just constantly running the same red zones over and over again.
Or go add some missions, some old ones, and I'm just saying.
Yeah. And then the other thing that they can do while they're at it, give us another difficult boss rush.
Oh yeah, make boss rush actually like bossy.
Well, so I don't think you actually played back in the day, because you started it was like year 5.
Year 4 into 5 is when I started. Yep.
Okay, so 4 and a 5. So back in like year 2 into 3, I want to say, they dropped
Yep.
Boss Rush 2, which I'm sure if you went in there and you saw it right now, it used to be like 10 to like 14 like Dokkan events like in a row.
It was insane. Yeah,
And
I remember that one.
And back then, that was the difficult content, and it actually was, like playing it back in the day. I was running a team of like AGL units because I had AGL Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta as my leader, and I'm over here running like the AGL RO, like the AGL Vegeta, like the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then like the or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Like the team was just out of whack, but it was just all AGL units, and
Sure.
you get to the fight against like Tech Gogeta, and good luck trying to beat him with a full AGL team.
Right.
So
That's a problem.
So like add more stages to it, and they can even bump up the difficulty, or even give us like burst mode in it, and restrict us to certain categories or teams or team costs or something. Make it difficult on us to have more fun.
Yeah. No, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. That would be a fun one. And then like Infinite, like Dragon Ball History, like doing something with that would be pretty cool as well. Because really, like that's like the only like long content in the game, really.
And then also while like, obviously we had talked about this in the previous video of like if they were to update a couple of these old events, like the Battle of Awakening Medals and Training with Korin. The other one I want to see, like it's very minute, and I know that they recently updated it, but I would love to see one more update to it. The Hidden Potential stage.
Yep.
So I don't want them to branch off into 3 different ways, and it's like, hey, which way do you want to go? Just
make it straight, like the easy.
Make it straight across, like the Bulma event, where you hit the first one, hey, you get 500 small orbs. Hit the second one, hey, you're getting 250 medium, and then hit the last one, and it's like, hey, here's 25 large, and then you fight the boss, get a couple little extra here, and just be done.
Well, I think they did it that way to like give the player like the illusion of choice, kind of, or like just to kind of be like, hey, like you can choose what ones you want today, and it's just like, so it kind of gives you a reason to like use the board, is what I almost think like the initial thought was, because otherwise it kind of makes like the board like going to the battle kind of redundant. But at the same time, it's just like it's not really anything like crazy, and it honestly is just kind of annoying for most players to just
But that's the thing, is like, but it's like you get to choose which path you want to go, and it's like, hey, I want to go to the one where it has the question mark. But guess what? Sometimes you get stuck with just 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then you literally you can't hit that first one, and then you're just gonna jump straight into the question mark, and then you're done because you didn't get a 1. So even if they do that, get rid of just the 2s in general and just make them all 1s.
Yeah, 100%. That's another big issue, is like on those stages, like it's much better when it's just a stage where you can just roll 1s.
Yeah. Like, man.
Especially something as limited. Yeah, especially if something as limited of a currency like Hidden Potential orbs. Because like they don't just hand those things out. Like people actually need orbs pretty constantly. Like everybody needs them. Even whales need orbs.
Yeah. And,
like, so it's just, yeah.
And yeah, I hate it. Like, I honestly hate it because the worst part, to me, the worst one is when you take out the boss and then you get to the pick your path, and then all 3 of them have a question mark sitting there.
that's like the special kind of hell.
Oh no!
Right there.
Oh, no! It gets better. You have all 3 question marks right there, and then you have a board of 2s.
Yep.
So which way you going?
Yeah.
At that point, you're just like, you know what? I'm just going up the middle, because at this point, if I get a 1, I'm screwed, because if I hit that 1, it's going to turn into a 2.
Yep. No, exactly. Yeah. So they could definitely be improved a little bit, for sure. I agree.
Oh yeah. And then also the other thing that they can do, especially like when it comes to like link leveling, give us a option to like hold down on like the enemy unit and see if your character is going to get a link level, because like because the game automatically, like as soon as you go into the match, it already did its RNG. It already rolled the dice to see if your Link is going to level up or not on that particular like enemy. So it's like, give me the option to like hold down on him and see if I should even waste my time.
Or just make them blink or something. Like, don't even say like what unit or anything like that or give any information. Just like make the unit blink. Like if they're going to give you a link or something like that, it's just like a little indicator, right? So it's like there's still like the factor of like mystery, like, you know, because there's just like, oh, what unit's going to pop? But you see it and you can kind of get excited, like, oh my god, I'm going to get a link to pop here, you know. Yeah. So that could be kind of...
Yeah, either that or even if they just did it to where it's just like, hey, you hold down on this Cyberman, and your big bad bosses has gone from level 8 to level 9 guaranteed on this Goku Black.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's guaranteed. You can look at it and be like, oh, perfect. That's what I needed. Go to that, and then you can hold down on the other ones and be like, oh, no link level there, no link level there, no link level there. Let me get this link level right here, and then just exit out. And then
so the only... I agree. I think that's really, really cool. I think the only issue with that is that you wouldn't really see it that much because it's on auto, right? Like you wouldn't want to like, because it kind of, you have to think of like the flow, like where it's just like, okay, like, you know, basically it's just always on auto. You're not even like really, most people aren't even looking at their phone. So it's just like, I'm trying to figure out like where you would really like use that in the flow of combat. Like, would you stop like what you're doing and be more actively link leveling if that was the case?
I mean, I would. Because at that point, if I know that, hey, I have this unit and he needs one link level 10, and these other units are in like the 6s and stuff like that, and I'm holding down and it's like, hey, this one is guaranteed to go from 9 to 10, I can make sure to target that one specific enemy to make sure I get him in order to get my 9 to 10.
Yeah.
So that's just...
Yeah,
you know, it's something small. I mean, I'm sure that they could add it. Like you said, it does kind of stop the flow of the auto, but at the same time, for people that may not want to auto all the time, or they want to play or do whatever, it gives them a chance to just look at it and be like, hey, can I get a guaranteed link? Or if you're running a team of full like link level 9s and stuff like that, and you hold down on those Cybermen and none of them are giving you a link, there's no point in even going through it. Unless you want unless you need XP, but for like me at level 999, I don't need XP. I'm not getting anything out of it. I'm just wasting stamina at that point. So instead of me wasting 5 minutes to run through the stage, just let me exit out, go back in, and see if the next one, if the next batch is gonna give me one.
Look at you, just 999, just free to play
God over here, right?
free to play God. 999 complaining about, oh, I gotta get out of my stage, he says.
Well,
don't pity me with your stamina. I can use stones.
The other one that I would like to see, it's kind of just minute, really, but add more unique support items in the game.
Yep.
Because the last one we got, the last one we legitimately got was that little guide robot from last year's Worldwide Celebration. And we don't really get support items like that anymore. Like just make some cool support items. Like, hey, use this one to guarantee crit, or hey, use this one to guarantee dodge.
Oh, that would be sick. Kind of like punching bag.
Yeah.
Like where it's just like, yo.
Yeah, or hey, use this one and your units get 5% damage reduction for 2 turns. You know, just like add in like these other like support items to kind of like just make us think differently on how we want to play. Like, yeah, people do know item runs and they do this and they do that, but some free-to-play players don't have that luxury, and them getting an extra 5% damage reduction for 2 turns would make a pretty big difference for them in one of their runs.
No, that would be pretty cool. I do agree. I think that like the itemization factor, there's a lot of people that like don't use items now, specifically like going like no item runs and stuff like that, and that's totally cool. But then there's also the other like faction of players that actually use them or need them. Like if you're just like 55%ing, like as most free-to-play players should, or if you're like skipping banners and doing that sort of thing, you may not have like the most juiced team on planet Earth to beat content, and at that point you're like need to bring your Whis. You need to bring like a Ghost Usher or something like that to complete some stages, and that's totally fine. And just to give those players some more options outside of like, because really the itemization in the game is literally just like bring a Whis. Yep. What do you do? Oh, you bring a Whis.
Yeah,
that's what you do. That the itemization in the game really boils down to you bring a Whis.
Yeah,
or you bring new. Nuking items are fun. I think that's a good example of like good itemization, right?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like there's just very very basic on what you're gonna use, and unfortunately, a lot of times you're just gonna bring Whis and you're gonna bring an Aider and just hope that you can make your run.
Yeah,
Exactly. If you're not nuking, you're bringing Whis and Aider, and if anybody else is in the comments, they can also probably confirm that that's probably what they use.
Yeah, no, 100%. Everybody's using a Whis.
And then also, I would like to see this because I honestly think this has been needed for a while. Yep. Give us a crafting system for skill orbs.
Oh yes.
Yes. Give us upgradable skill orbs like the level 1s, 2s, and 3s. You and I both know they are useless.
You never use them. They're literally just the only time I ever use like a level 1 is like when I'm replacing chain battle skill orbs.
Yep.
And I'm like a super shitty like SSR of a unit, right? But they're like rainbowed, and you just gotta get the gold off of them.
Yep.
To put on the next unit for the next batch of chain battle units. And then I'll go find like a level 1 like recovery boost.
Yeah.
And I'll toss it.
Yeah, and
because that's the only instance that you ever use them.
Yeah, and you're doing the same thing for a level 2 or a level 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's no use.
And then also remove some of those skill orbs, like the attack boost and stuff like that, because nobody uses them.
Yeah, they are irrelevant. 100%.
I would love to see their database, and I would love to see how many players actually put on a attack boost skill
intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, literally the people that do, because like I've got them on some, but again, what I said before is the only reason that they would have them on them, because they were for chain battle and they probably had an EX orb on them that gave stats for chain battle, and you took them off, just put something on there afterwards just to get the EX orb off.
Yep. And then they can also give us more unique skill orbs, not actual like EX skill orbs, but change what they do. Damage reduction, chance to guard, chance to dodge, just something like give us,
and it can be,
give us something.
Yeah, 100%. Like all of those things, like adding the actual skills, like of the units inside of the orbs. I think that would be like build breaking, and I think about how much diversity to the game that would add. And I mean, I know some people, the first thing people are going to think is just going to be like, oh, the game would be impossible to balance and all this stuff, yada yada yada. I mean, who cares? Just like
it's a PvE game, you know.
PvE game. Part of the fun is finding out what those busted strategies are, and playing them and having fun doing it, right? I mean, that's kind of part of the fun is like finding what breaks the game, and that's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like we already have Orange Piccolo running rampant anyways. Let me give him a skill orb that's going to give him like a chance at like 2% healing or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let me just make it different. Make it fun. Like, let people have more creativity with what they want to do with these units. Because if you want to build like an all Zamasu Goku Black team, and you have the ability to put these skill orbs on there that give them extra healing, like a chance at healing, plus their passive healing, like you could just have like an all healing like team. Hey,
what about
you got hit for 400,000? Well, hey, every single unit has these skill orbs to possibly get healed, and then now you just healed it all back, and you have a regen team.
What about I just thought of this. What about like a gold orb that like has a condition on it where it's like where it guarantees that if you proc the hidden potential additional, it guarantees a super attack.
Yeah.
And that's a gold orb. Like that's like a wicked sick like gold orb that you can just put like you don't get them very often, but like you could put like that's like a mechanic building like, hey, if you like it's saying, hey, instead of like a 50% chance where it's going to be a normal or a super, you put the gold orb on and it guarantees a super attack. That would be lit.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's just small things to make the game a little bit better and give us more choices within the game.
Yeah, 100%. And we do see them kind of going this way. Like they just barely announced the implementation of like the like link level skill orbs. Like I just want to say after all of this, like we're pointing out of things that we'd like to see in the game, and it might sound like bitching. It's really not. It's just for improvement.
Yep.
But really, what it is I love the fact that 9 years into this game, they really are going out and like trying to make this game better still. And I can't even tell you how many games at this point people would have just totally not given a shit, like devs especially. But like I know like Dokkan is like the ultimate money juicer for freaking for Bandai. there because everybody's
Yep.
cracking the phone. But like seriously, man, like I just am so impressed with the fact that they're still putting so much love and attention into this game after 9 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like they have it planned up to 10 years already, but it can go way longer than that. It's just small implementations here and there to kind of bring people back into the game that have left, or the ones that are like playing just like every day and they're kind of like getting bored, like they're kind of getting to that point. They introduce something new, like, I mean, just recently to date the video, they introduced like the Link skill balls.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, now, and they're adding in an event where you can do it weekly and it's permanent. So now you can basically farm these like the little orbs, like the Link skill orbs, and put them on your units to get them to Link level 10 without actually Link leveling 10 them,
Yeah. And
like,
it's
aimlessly.
That's such an interesting and cool concept. I don't know how it actually like plays out and how it works yet because I haven't got to use it yet. But just on paper, the fact that they're trying something like that, it's like it's new, it's different, it's fresh. I just think that's so cool. 9 years into the game that they're still adding stuff like that. It's so cool. So many games by now just would have just totally not given a shit. So I think it's really awesome.
Oh yeah. And the other thing. I think they need to do this because I am just literally so tired of World Tournament.
Oh boy. Oh, we want to talk about game modes? Okay. All right.
Okay, so here's my idea.
Hear me out.
Revamp World Tournament. Get rid of the 3-day event and make it time zone specific. And the reason why I say this is because they have all these titles for like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and like they have it like all the way to whatever they have it to. Realistically, 99.999% of the like player base will never get top number 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just it just won't happen because there are the grinders who are within, like we have people like Tripsy, Boxer Whale, just to name a few that play constantly, and they do get number 1 very often, and it kind of like changes back and forth between them, or maybe like another person will rise up and like get in there and maybe beat both of them out because maybe they had a busy weekend, but realistically, other people in like different time zones will never get any of those. They'll never get those rewards because of the fact that there are people that are grinders, and they like most people don't have 3 days to just dedicate to the game. Like I know there's some people that literally take those 3 days off just to play World Tournament and then rest on the last day. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing that.
You think?
I'm not doing that.
You don't want to like take the weekend off to play World Tournament? Oh my God! Where's the dedication, Russia?
I don't care. There's no dedication to World Tournament anymore. I don't care.
Oh my!
I want to get my top 2,000 and I want to be done. But if you do it by time zone specific, then you can get rid of an extra day out of there because JP only does it for 2 days.
Yeah, please get rid of the day. Oh my God!
Global has to do it for 3 days. We start, we start what? Friday morning and go all the way into Monday morning.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Whereas on JP, like, me being in like Eastern time zone, it starts at 4 a.m. for me, like Friday morning, and it ends at I think either 8 or 9 a.m. on Sunday morning. So it's like all Sunday, you're done. You're off. So imagine.
You're done.
So imagine like they started at 2 o'clock or 2:30 EST on Friday morning, and then it ended at 2:30 Sunday morning. You'd actually get Sunday to relax.
Yeah, imagine.
Not have to sit there and play it for a whole other 24 hours on a Sunday when you want to relax.
Yeah, no, exactly. That would be incredible. That would be incredible. And like actually like a revamp of like the game mode itself, I think would be pretty nice also.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody would agree with that one.
Yep. And I just think that's one of the biggest things. It's one of the oldest modes that they have, and it just needs some minor tweaks. I know that they've recently done tweaks to it where they've got rid of like the big stages finally, and the AI actually like comes after you instead of running away from you.
Yeah, that's and it is a lot better. It is a lot better.
Yeah, so it's gotten better, but just a little bit more, just to kind of let me want to play it. You know what I mean?
Oh, and here's the other thing that's small along with World Tournament. The World Tournament takes stamina, so why doesn't it give link levels? I mean, I understand because it might take an extra 2 seconds in between runs, and most people probably have their World Tournament units already level 10. But there's some times where a new unit's introduced or something like that, and you don't have them 10. It gives stamina. It just doesn't make sense that it doesn't give link levels. That's all.
Yep.
I know it would slow down the time, and there's people that time how long each run takes and stuff like that. But just saying.
Oh yeah, I agree. And then, let's see. So the next ones that I kind of have, a lot of these are going to be kind of together, they're ideas that bounce off of each other. So
sure.
My first one is, this has to do with category wise.
Okay.
We need a powerful opponent category.
Oh man,
just straight up.
Yes, please.
Is this?
I would love a powerful opponents category.
Yeah, and it's because Legends has it, so why doesn't Global have it? Imagine if, I don't know, instead of Omega getting GT bosses, he led powerful opponent.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I mean, I think just categories in general is a great subject because there's a lot of them that I mean, this kind of segues into another one that I should have said, but I just barely thought of, and that's the categories of the game in general. There's some of them that just don't make sense, and I know there's always a unit on everybody's mind, right? There's always one person where they're just oh, I can think of this unit where I'm just why isn't he on this category or something like that? Sword of Hope Trunks not being on Connected Hope.
Yep.
And Sword of Hope Trunks not being on Connected Hope. The homie is literally connecting with everybody's energy, and they're giving him stuff. And all of the other units that are on the category make sense. That I feel like homie should be there. That's all I'm saying. And then another one is physical Go Tanks. Physical Super Saiyan 3 Go Tanks, for example, is on the Fusion, but he's also on Hybrid Saiyans.
Yep.
Why is Gogeta, the 5th year,
and Vegeta not on Pure Saiyans?
Not on Pure Saiyans. Can somebody tell me? Can somebody figure it out? I'd love to know.
I don't know, because the thing is even if somebody did the argument of, well, if you're taking a Pure Saiyan and a Pure Saiyan and you're putting them together and you're fusing them, now they're a quote-unquote hybrid of 2 Pure Saiyans, why aren't they on Hybrid Saiyans then?
Yeah. I don't agree with that argument. I think it should literally, because Hybrid Saiyans, we all know what that means. We know what that means.
Yeah.
Every other unit, when it's Goku and Vegeta together, it's Pure Saiyans, and then they fuse, right?
Yep.
And then they're still getting the Pure Saiyan buff. I'm just saying, units like that should be, if you're going to go as far as to give the Go Tanks and stuff like that Hybrid Saiyans, then just keep it par for the course and give the Vegetas and Gogetas, give them Pure Saiyans.
Yep. And then so I actually did have that as one of the things that I was going to talk about, and it was fixed category inconsistency, because hey, why is LR Tech, Goten, and Gohan on Majin Buu Saga, but LR Broly, who they're fighting against, isn't?
Yeah.
And why is the AGL LR androids that literally have the domain of Future Gohan in the background as their background not on Future Saga?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Are they on did they get them from the movie, the History of Trunks or something? How did you not put them on there? It just makes sense.
But either way, it wouldn't matter because that's still the Future Saga.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's not even sagas from the movies. It's definitely Future Saga.
So it's go back through every single unit,
Woo.
Look at every single category that they're on, and fix them.
Should we do a long form where we go through everything and we just find every single unit and make a list and send it to Bandai?
Oh my god!
This is
video
this
idea.
Is single unit that's the categories are wrong, and we're just going to help you out. We're going to save you the time and the manpower, and probably like $1,500 you were going to pay somebody. And here it is.
Yeah. Here's the idea. Here's the video for you guys. You can watch it and go through we'll go through every single unit and see which ones need category updated.
Yeah. Or we could probably crowdsource and be like, hey, like down in the comments, what's a unit that you guys can think of that is not on the category, like that it's missing a category that it should.
Yep.
Okay, let us know. Let us know what's going on down there.
Let us know. It might get featured in another video.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. We might be able to say, hey, somebody said this.
But hey, you know what? Back to your point that you had where you were talking about like the Goku and Vegeta units that are on Pure Saiyans, and then if they fuse into Gogeta or Vegito, they also get Fusion, or they get Fuse Fighter, or they get Potara, but they also still keep Pure Saiyan. Why not give these joined forces units, Potara units, Fusion units, Fuse Fighter units, whatever the case is, give them the categories that they should be on?
Yes, 100%. Like you're saying, like again, like Legends does.
Like Legends does. Like the one. If it's
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one I'm thinking of. The one that pops into my head is the physical LR Goku and Piccolo, and then like the Int LR Goku and Piccolo. Give them Namekian, give them Pure Saiyan, give them Goku family, give them this, give them that. Like the whatever the units are separate, give them those categories and make those categories better. Because Namekians would be a hell of a lot better if they had these two joined forces units on there than what they have right now.
Exactly. The first thing that comes into my head is like, for example, Int, who is it there? Super Saiyan God, Vegeta, and Trunks, the father-son combo.
Yep.
Like they should be on Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans. Like that would be really cool. Like imagine running that unit on like a pure Hybrid Saiyans build team. Like that would be really cool, and you should be able to do that. And I think it just opens up again. It just makes so much more diversity for the game that I just don't really see the downside of doing that. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they don't want it to be like, oh, because you're only going to run these units on like every single team in the game. And it's like, well, that's not really the case. All it does is give you just more flexibility to be able to run those, because there's a lot of competitive options. When you open that up, there's just a lot more competitive options. It's not like you're using the same ones every single time. I just think it makes it better. I don't know. So if there's a downside to it that I'm not seeing, then sure, but I'm not really seeing it. I think just adding like more categories and more diversity is a good thing overall.
And the thing is people complained about that way back in the day before we could even use the same named units on the team. Because I don't know if you were playing yet or not, but back then you couldn't run the same name unit. So like if you had a Vegito Blue,
I know.
You could only run one Vegito Blue. You couldn't run two of them together. You either pick like the physical one, or you pick the tech one, or the STR LR. You got one. That was it. Yeah. And then when that news came out, everybody's like, "Oh my God, I can run a full Vegito team, blah 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 blah," or I can run a full Gogeta team. And then like the update came out, and you saw teams of everybody using the same units. And guess what? As time went on, they just realized, hey, they're not linking together. This isn't even viable.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh, this ain't even that good. Maybe it's just like, oh, and most of these guys are, year-old units that aren't even good. So again, yeah, it just makes it completely redundant. And even if you had a full team of like Vegitos or whatever, like what's wrong with that? I think that's cool. Like if we did what we were saying earlier and made them link with each other, and you could run a full Vegito team that all link with each other, that's fucking badass. Like I think that's cool. Like if they all linked with each other, and you're just like, oh yeah, I've got 7 Vegitos on the Vegito Blues on the team. It's like, that's cool.
Yeah, either that, or even back to your saying, of like the LR Int Trunks and Vegeta. Say if they gave that Vegeta Realm of Gods, and they gave that Trunks Super Saiyan, and you had to do Super Saiyan like Battle Road, like Super Battle Road, and it's hey, it's Super Saiyan, and you want to run them. Well, guess what? If you're running like say, I don't know, AGL LR Gohan, and they might not link well together because this Vegeta and Trunks have a lot of future Saga links, and this Gohan doesn't. So either way, they might not link together. Hey, you might think, hey, I got a powerful team, but they might not link together, so it might not even matter.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point. So like that's kind of how like the the build scaling kind of helps a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's the.
And then so the next one that I kind of want to talk about while we're on the subject of like the different teams and stuff like that. I think we need to change movie bosses to movie villains. Change GT bosses to GT villains, because there are so many units that are left off of there
because they're not a boss,
because they're not a technical boss. But movie heroes, every single superclass unit that is in there is a hero. You know what I mean? Hey, you have like we'll use the Bio Broly movie for example. That Tech Krillin, he's on movie heroes. But hey, Tech Zangya, she's not on there because she's not a movie boss.
And that makes no sense to have more diversity on the super side and less diversity on the extreme side. They should literally be the polar opposite. If they were going to restrict one, it should be super class and be like just like Goku and Vegeta's. But it's like if you're able to do that on the super side, why not do that on the extreme side with how little diversity there is for extreme class units already? That would be a huge change. I think that would be so much better.
And even GT bosses to GT villains, because the problem is like Hellfighter 17 is not a GT boss. That Android 17 is not a GT boss, but Super 17 is a GT boss. But guess what? You can't run them on GT bosses because they're not a GT boss.
I'm just waiting for LR Cell Max to come out with super villains.
Yeah, super villains.
Super villains.
Yep.
To come out, because I mean, just the fact, you're totally right. The fact that there's superheroes with like all of like this over like encroaching category, this just like all encompassing of everything. And then you're just like extreme class, they just like put them in this little tiny bubble of units. It's just
that's what we're waiting for, is give us that super, air quotes, super villains.
Yep, give us the super villains.
And that actually goes into the next one that I had, was give us more extreme Dokkan Fest units, and give us better extreme banner units.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't
just
want
banner even on the super side, just better.
Yeah, we don't want Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew. We will take them, but make them more viable for the teams that they're supposed to be on.
I was just about to say, I was like, you can give me all the Geros and Dr. Mews you want, but just make them good. Like at least decent, runnable, something. Like they don't have to be gods, but just make them decent. Like what they need to stop doing is they need to stop trying to make hits for banner units that are like damage focused, or like quote unquote damage focused characters, like that are more like additional based or crit based and stuff like that. Like they're never going to do the damage that Dokkan Fest do. So stop trying to get them like the damage, because it rarely ever happens. Like there are a few exceptions, obviously there are always exceptions to the rule, but then those characters are good. But outside of that, there's a bunch of characters that are trying to just do stuff that is just not their job. So they end up being bad because they're specialized in something that they should just not be specialized in. It's like they don't have the stats to do this. Like they should just not be doing that. Like I said, there's some exceptions, like STR Krillin, for example, like Tech Vegeta, like some banner units that are very good. Physical TN's pretty good.
But the thing is like just make a lot of them support units.
Exactly.
Or better yet, let them do whatever they want to do, but at the same time, let them support the category that they just came out with.
Yeah, I feel like that should just be like a standard. Like every unit that comes out should support the headlining unit.
Yeah, it's like, hey, hey, Super Trunks dropped, and the Gohan that came out with him, make him just give 3 key attack and defense plus 40% to his categories.
Yeah,
just make him better. The Turles that just came out with his 2 banner units, they support him.
Yeah, and those are phenomenal releases, right? Like when we think of like good banner units, we think like those guys, like the guys that drop with Hurlik. You think of like Ginyu,
Yeah,
right?
Ginyu. Yeah,
Right, like that was actually amazing when they dropped him. Ginyu, he was fantastic. Everybody was running him. They're like, oh my god, this guy's a goat. Who had a bad time? Like somebody tell me, like if anybody had a bad time running the Ginyu Force Team when it came out. No, everybody had fun. Everybody had fun. Like when you ran the Ginyu Force Team, you're like, oh my god, the Ginyu Force is goated. And then they got power crept, but that's besides the point. They were really fun for a while.
Yep. So one other thing I think that they should do. I know. So we can kind of talk about this because a lot of these last points are all going to be about like summoning, essentially. So
okay.
I know this is our specialty.
Okay.
Okay. So I feel like all these last points are pretty much all regarding summons.
Yeah. Oh, we know a couple things about that. Yep.
So obviously they just introduced the pity system for the yellow coin LRs.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just say it out right now. Give us the pity system for Dokkan Fest and carnivals as well. Don't limit it to just yellow coin LRs.
They won't. I don't think they will. I think that, like I said before, I literally think they're just going to use it as like data testing. They want to check in the back end how the yellow coin banners are going to do because they're generally not summoned on very much. They can kind of take the data, like especially from JP, and they can say, oh, this is about like how much it makes, and they can go over their revenue and stuff like that, yada yada. And then they can use that as like a base for like what they're going to do. I totally expect them to eventually release this across all banners.
Yeah, I think they will, but I just want to just implement it early into the system. Like, hey, just go ahead and just give it to us now. Don't wait. Just implement it early.
Oh yeah, though. I mean, yeah, obviously that.
And then on that note, also have the Baba Shop just have the old Dokkan Fest units who aren't on banners anymore. You know, those 120% leads, those 70% leads, the 100% leads. Just make them purchasable anytime with coins.
I would say I would bring it a step further, and I would say just toss those mofos into the general pool, like 50% support units. Was that on your list?
That is on my list, which we will get to.
Okay, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking just toss them in the damn general pool. Well, it's been, you know, some of these guys like 6 years since they've been on banners, and they come around once a year. You summon on them either on an EZA banner or the Worldwide Celebration, and that's the only chance to get them. They're more rare than like the brand new units at this point.
Yeah, and I just feel like if they, even if they just made them to where you can just purchase them whenever you want, it helps. Yeah. It helps like newer players, like if they have the coins and they're like, hey, I want STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but he's never on banners, so I can't ever get him. At least this way, when they save up 200 coins, they could be like, let me just buy him.
Yeah, but should they do that though? Or should they do that? Like, because you got to think, like, most people are going to like recommend, and they're going to be like, yeah, don't buy that unit with that amount of coins or whatever, because like you can save up 400 and get the new Dokkan Fest. It's like a bazillion times better. So that's the only issue that I have with that, is that I feel like most people wouldn't do it. I feel like the happy medium would be just putting them in the general pool.
You can put them in the general pool. I can see that for sure. I just feel like at that point you're also just there's gonna be too much at that point. I mean, we already have too much in the general SSR pool. If you take all these old DFE units, like if you,
well, I mean, you can look. Listen, if it's coming down to where like you can take out Karoli and put in like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, like STR Supers, like you can toss him in the background as like an unfeatured Dokkan. Because I mean, think about it. There's unfeatured LRs on LR banners. Why not make some of those old Dokkan Fests like unfeatured Dokkan Fests on Dokkan Fest banners? That's basically the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, technically, yeah. I guess I could.
Yeah, because I mean that's literally what they do with LR summon banners. They just have them as like general. Oh, there's a chance I can get these guys. That kind of is another enticing summon reason too. Like, oh, I'm summoning, I can randomly get an old Dokkan Fest. I think generally speaking, that would like raise the spirits of like other players. Be like, oh, I got this old SSR from forever ago that, you know, like I may not have had copies of because I haven't been around in 5 years. Like, you know, so it kind of gives extra value too, right?
It'd be kind of cool. You're summoning and you're just like, oh my god, I pulled physical Kid Buu.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They'll be dope, right? Like I just think they should do. I think they should 100% do that. Just toss like some of these old SSRs into the general pool because I mean I can't imagine that like those EZA banners and stuff like that. Most like some people buy the tickets and stuff like that, but outside of that, like nobody's really coming on those. Like there's not that much that they could be making. Like it's probably a little bit of an amount. Like I'll buy the tickets every now and then if I need SSRs, but outside of that, like it can't do anything that crazy. I can't imagine they're losing out on that much by like throwing them in the general pool.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, it's an idea. We'll throw it in the survey.
We'll throw it in. Yeah, we'll do the monster of a survey that we're like, is there a character limit on this thing?
Well, here's the thing. So what I was going to do is when we're done talking about all of this, I'm going to go back through this entire list. I'm going to like, I'm going to edit it all and make sure that's like nice, neat, and compact and everything. And I'm going to pin this as like the comment under the last video. So that way, if anybody wants to copy anything from it, they can go in and just copy and paste and just throw it in the survey.
No, dog, what we need to do is we need to make like a PowerPoint presentation step by step and email it to Bandai and just go through. And we'll take this whole thing, we'll break it down to them and we'll like really pitch them, you know what I mean? And we'll be like, this is a good idea. And we'll do it. This will be like an hour long. Be like, everybody sit down at the table, get yourself comfy. This is going to be a long one.
Yep. So the other thing I think that they should do, and I think you might even agree with me on this. So,
okay.
So yellow coin LRs.
Okay.
They drop as 150% leaders.
Uh-huh.
I think they should just give yellow coin LRs a 170% leader skill just straight up across the board. Because,
completely.
Because in my opinion, I don't feel like 150% is just runnable in a lot of the new difficult content. Some of them are, but I feel like at least like this is a premium unit. You know what I mean? Like, like you're spending money on this LR. It's the legendary rare. Why does it have a 150? You know, like 150% leader skill when some of these banner units have 130%.
Yeah, I dare say make 180 like the LREZAs. Like just something like because I completely agree. Like outside of like LR Bulma, because she's just so much of a goat that she's just like 150, 120 doesn't matter. Just put me in slot 1. You know, it's just outside of her, like people get slapped up by losing 100% total stats. Mm-hmm. Like your entire team is 100% worth because you're missing out on that buff from like the 200% lead. So I mean, it's just it's time for an update. If you're jumping all the way up to a 200% lead, you got to jump up that LR baseline for the legendary time.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like a lot of these are premium units that they lead terrible categories. So it's and you're just making them worse by making them 150% leader on top of that. So it's like nobody wants to run the category and then also not even have like a good leader for it. Because if you think about it, we have LR Vegeta and Nappa that are the only leaders of Inhuman Deeds, and it's what 130%. I think is
that's
what it
messed
is.
up. That's messed up.
We don't have a single other leader for Inhuman Deeds except LR Nappa and Vegeta. And it's 130%. So at this point, if you wanted to even run the category and you wanted a leader for him, you're kind of out of luck because you don't really have any good ones.
Out of luck. You got to use at that point you have to go through and be like, oh, who's on Inhuman Deeds that leads a different category that all of these characters on Inhuman Deeds can be run under.
Yeah, and that's the problem is like you have to sit there and I mean it's different, but that's kind of unfortunately what you have to do. And
it is.
But it's just such a pain to have to do that in order to like run a team.
Well, isn't Tech Vegeta the Great Ape one also in Inhuman Deeds leader?
Yeah. I was just like looking that up. He is a leader as well, and but his is the same way. It's key +4 and 150%.
It's only 150. That's right. Yeah. So basically, just like a buff to all these other. I was gonna say, I think there's 2 of them. So just a buff to all these categories.
Yeah,
I think would be good.
They can leave the key +4, and even if they did 170 or 180%, you're paying for a premium yellow coin LR. Make them good.
No, 100%.
Just make the leader skill good. Make them worth running as a leader.
Yeah, I agree.
Because anybody that summons for these yellow coin LRs at this point, you're just summoning them to run them on a Dokkan Fest leader instead of being able to run them as a leader by themselves.
Right, and that's just it. That's why the Dokkan Fest have like always had more value, right? And I think they did that intentionally, right? Like over time, but then they've kind of like skewed it a little bit and they did ask that actually. And remember a bunch of other surveys, like because even legendary summons used to be a lot worse, like because it was like, oh, they used to be how many units, how many featured units on the banner?
What was it? It was 10 or 12.
I thought it was like 12 or 13, something really just ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, I think it was like 12, and then you have your one LR that's featured.
Exactly, and they were just terrible. So we also have to think about how far they have come. So like they have done a really good job. Like they've made those banners like ridiculously so much better by adding like, oh, here's 3 featured LRs. Like, and that was from player feedback. Because remember when they asked these questions back in like the anniversaries worldwide and stuff like that, where they're like, how would you feel? Like, do you feel that yellow coin banners should, remember this question? Like, do you feel that yellow coin banners should be on this, like, what power to like the Dokkan Fest?
Yep.
And they're like, I feel it should be equal. I feel it should be more. I feel it should be less. I bet you everybody said it should be equal to the Dokkan Fest, because it's just like, why would anybody have a problem? You still choose whether you want to summon on it or not. And then they're always going to come back.
Well, you know what I think the problem was? Is I think a lot of people were like, no, we want these yellow coin LRs to be good. And they're like, hey, here's carnival banners.
Yeah.
I think that's just how it happened.
Yeah, probably.
Which actually, thankful to you, that segues into the next one I had. Realistically, like, I was against this, but now I'm for it. Change the banner format back to Dokkan Fest and Carnival.
Yes, please. Oh my God, yes. Because it was so much better. So many people complain. Oh my God, people complained about this one.
Because at this point now, the Carnival banners are just glorified yellow coin LRs, and they like the themes that they try to do. It doesn't even fit them anymore.
No, and it also like doesn't carry the hype over into part 2 even close, because there's not like a reason to really save for most people. Like, it's just, the other format was just so much better. Like the first worldwide, the hype was just so much better. It's just like, oh, here's a Dokkan Fest and a Carnival. It's just a better format.
Yeah, period. And that's the thing is like they could have like with the recent anniversary, they could like the Carnival Goku is really good. The Carnival Gohan is actually still really good if you like use them on a team. But the thing is like they were just 2 units that just got dropped, and people were like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they were like, hey, here you go, we're going to drop Carnival Omega, and hey, we're going to drop Carnival Kid Buu. Like, part 1 is Buu Saga, and you get Carnival Kid Buu, and then you got the physical LR Goku and Vegeta. And then for part 2, you got the STR Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and the GT Goku, and then the Carnival was Omega. Like, even if they just dropped that AGL one that we just got, if they just dropped that as like theirs part 2, people would have went crazy.
Yeah, have we talked about in any of these videos about like the continuity of the celebrations? Like, and what I mean by that is exactly what you just said.
Sticking to the theme.
Sticking to the theme. Have we talked about that at all, or is this the first time we're talking about it?
This is the first time we're talking about it, but I threw that little line in there where it says, and Carnival banners glorified yellow coin LRs and don't even fit a theme anymore.
Yes, because it's just like, I don't understand why they do this, and I really, one big thing that I wish they would fix this is like, you have a tower, tournament of power celebration, and everybody is expecting, like, part 1 is Kale, and then part 2, everybody's like, oh my God, we're going to get a hit. And this is the time we're getting an LR hit. This is going to be the best thing since sliced bread. And they say, how about Super Buu? How about
Super Buu?
Super Buu?
Without even a 200% leader skill to run him on.
And so guess what? Both of them get screwed because neither of them have help.
Yep.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
And the other thing that doesn't make sense to me either is the fact that they're like, now they dropped the TOP androids, and now they're awakening all the Universe 6, like sub EZAs, why didn't they drop that for Kale?
Yeah, all the units that doesn't make any sense with.
Yeah, when it came out, Kale would have been, hey, here's my Universe 6 team that I run. You know what's gonna help me? My Universe 6 teammates that got EZAs that are better now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and so that's a really big one. Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're gonna drop Kale, and then 5 months later, we're gonna drop help for her after nobody's gonna use her.
Or you can just give them the STR Kid Buu treatment and just never give them help ever.
Yeah. It's just inconsistencies all the time. Like they need to stick. If there's a theme, stick to that theme. You got the androids right there that just dropped. Cool. You know what you should EZA? You should EZA the Tech Android 17. You should EZA the Tech Android 18. You awaken the free-to-plays, and you're giving them EZAs. Guess what? They stick to the theme of androids and like this, Universe 7 essentially.
Yeah.
You have a theme right there. Stick to that. Like Jiren, okay, Jiren I understand. He's been needing to kind of fit into somewhere, and this is Tournament of Power related, so cool, drop him in there. But dropping the Universe 2, like, side banner unit, and then
out of left field.
Yeah, out of left field. Like why? Like you could have gave us a TN instead, or a Roshi, or
a lot of ideas out there that they could have gave us, but we got that one.
But that's the one you guys threw the dart, and that's the one it's stuck on.
That's the one. Yeah. They're just like, wait, let's do these guys. Oh yeah. That's a great idea.
Yeah, drop these guys with the
Who
androids.
approved that one? Who's the guy that approved that one?
Yeah, and the thing is like I said, they sub EZA'd those banner units, and for Universe 6, but it's like Kale needed help months ago. Why is now that nobody's using her, and hey, now that she's finally come back on a banner, why now are you helping her instead of when she dropped initially?
Yeah.
You probably could have sold more if you would have dropped the help for her initially.
Oh, absolutely. I feel way more incentivized to summon on banners that's like Turles or Ginyu, where they drop really good side banner units that are intended to be used with the new unit. I feel way more incentivized to chase those units and want to get one because it works well with that unit. Why would you not want to make good units that run with that unit?
Yep. And so that actually goes into like the next thing that I have. This one's a little bit of a longer point, but because I named off just so many units, we need better unit representation.
Okay.
So I understand, hey, it's cool. They just dropped the Tournament of Power, Android 17 and 18. That's cool. They deserved it. Mm-hmm. They made them pretty good. They deserve that. But you know what else we need? I'm going to throw this big list on here. Give us a Dokkan Fest Zarbon. Because guess what? Yep. Because Zarbon was actually a pretty big, enemy for Vegeta there.
I love Zarbon, man. Back when the Namek Saga first came out, Zarbon was the GOAT, man. I loved him. Like, he just came out. He was super strong. All those characters. Like, Dodoria's, misrepresent.
Dodoria's on there. We don't even have a good Dodoria. You can even make Dodoria a banner unit to the Dokkan Fest Zarbon.
Please. My God.
Or
I even like Kui.
Yeah, Kui. I got him on there, too, as a banner unit.
Yeah. I loved him. He was great.
Yeah, he doesn't need a Dokkan Fest, but you can make him a banner unit.
Exactly, and then you can make the main unit the Vegeta that blows him up.
Yeah, and the thing is we don't have really good like Final Form Frieza representation. We don't have a Dokkan Fest Demon King Piccolo. We don't have a Garlic Jr. We don't even have the Spice Boys in the game at all. Make them a banner unit. Lord Slug, he doesn't have anything, or his henchmen. We got no representation for them other than a free-to-play unit and a side banner unit.
Yeah, that's an easy one, too, like Garlic Jr., like a Dokkan Fest Garlic Jr. with the other guys. They did do a good job at the time, remember. This was like right before the big power creep when they released Garlic Jr., which is unfortunate. But at the time, he was like pretty goated. Remember when he first dropped?
And that's the thing
is, he was good.
There's two different versions of him that they can drop. They can either drop the movie one, or they can drop the filler unit one.
Yeah,
I mean, they dropped the filler one, but give us the movie one now.
Yeah, and they could drop him exactly like Ginyu and Turles with his henchmen, and they drop the really good banner units.
Yep, and then like, so Tapion, we don't have a Dokkan Fest Tapion.
Yeah, that'd be really nice, wouldn't it? Easy. How about LR Super Goku?
Yeah,
and his easy.
Yeah, Harudegarn, he doesn't have a standalone unit. Buhan, the last Buhan we got was 2016, the Int one.
Yeah,
and
true.
And he's supposed to be literally, quote unquote, the strongest of all of them. Is supposed to be that Buhan. Yeah. And we have zero representation since 2016 of this unit. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, we got the transforming one from Worldwide Celebration, but I want a standalone.
Yeah. No, 100%.
You know.
Okay, what else you got?
Topo, Tien, Krillin. Actual, Dokkan Fest Omega or Sin, or transforming Sin Shenron into Omega.
Do you think we could see Topo as the next? I mean, I don't want to go off on just like a rant, but I mean, like Topo is the next unit for like the 17 and 18 part 2.
I could see it.
God of Destruction Topo.
I was thinking either him or I don't want to say it, but probably Ribrianne.
Oh my God! You would not catch me summoning on that banner. It'd be the first legend, like the first skipped banner ever for.
So
won't even.
Yeah, so I can see that, but like, we don't have we don't have an actual Dokkan Fest Nappa, because Nappa just went through and just one by one picked these dudes off.
True.
But no Dokkan Fest for him. Hachiak, I mean, I know he's not like a hype unit or anything like that, but he was a quote unquote main villain.
Yep.
Hit. We haven't had a good hit since the tech one.
He needs an LR.
He needs an LR. He just needs a new one, just in general.
Yep.
Obviously the criminal Goku Black. We haven't. This was the celebration for him, and they just said nah.
He better be coming as like an anniversary unit or like a hype unit. Like he's got to be coming on something.
Personally, I said that he should be New Year's.
I said that as well.
He should drop New Year's with a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta.
Heck yeah.
Because guess who else doesn't have a good representation? Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta.
Yeah. No, very true. Like Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Super Saiyan Goku from the Future Saga should both have units.
Yep, and then they should have separate ones. Technically, we just got them both together, but they have a separate.
You know what I'm talking about? Before they fight, when they both have like moments where like Goku's like going back and seeing Chi-Chi die, and then he's just like, "Oh, you son of a bitch." And they beat the out of him, and then and he does the same thing where he's just like he has that epic speech about he's like being just a clone, he's like a fraud.
Yep.
It's just like, dude. That is, my chills. I love that Vegeta speech, bro. I love that so much. It needs to be in the game.
Yep, and then like the other units, like Deborah. Deborah was a pretty specific villain, you know. Like they showed him with Babidi standing there. He was standing there all menacingly, and then he's just like the henchman. And all of a sudden, hey, he's got to fight Gohan now. And you're like, ooh, this is gonna be a good fight. And then all of a sudden, they just like break off into two different fights, obviously. But Deborah, he's got so many attacks. Like, there's so many different like ways that they can use him.
Yeah, definitely some cool stuff that could be for him.
And then like Dr. Gero and Android 19. Hello.
19.
The introduction to Super Saiyan Vegeta.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. Could you? That is actually criminal if you think about it. The 19, because I mean that was such a big moment too in DBZ, like when the androids first came, because we didn't know obviously about 17 and 18. And everybody thought that those were the androids, and it's just like, yeah, 19 should definitely be in the game.
Yeah, and then you have like 19 that's beaten up on Goku, and then all of a sudden Vegeta pops up, and you know, like they should get some kind of representation.
I agree.
And then also that segues into Super Saiyan Vegeta. His introduction. I know they have him as the Prime Battle LR. I don't like that. I want a full introduction of him going from base form to Super Saiyan. I want to see him active skill Big Bang attack. Like that's the Vegeta that I want. I will summon for that Vegeta.
Yep, I agree.
Who else we got? Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Just in general, I don't care if
Yeah, no.
I don't care if it's the Dragon Fist one. I don't care if it's the one fighting. I don't care if it's the one fighting Janemba. I don't care if it's the one fighting Majin Buu. Give us a Super Saiyan 3 Goku.
I want the Buu one outside of like just the in transforming one, like with like the updated animations, or like the like where he's like really going at it,
Yeah,
and like transforming, because like he transforms. That's like the longest transformation in like the history of Dragon Ball, and it was so epic. I remember replaying that like 50 times as a kid, going through and just being like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" Like I loved that episode of him going Super Saiyan 3. So I mean, like just having a more accurate representation of that in the game would be really cool.
Yep, and then Chilled and Super Saiyan Bardock.
Yep.
We got a Super Saiyan Bardock. He was transforming, but we don't have any Chilled representation. We have the Super Strike event one that doesn't even have an awakening yet.
Yep.
And that's it. You know what I mean? I think there's like a banner unit one that you could, like an SR maybe, that you can get, but like he's got nothing. There's no point to him.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Caulifla, like she can get an LR. I
Caulifla,
or a Dokkan Fest. I feel like she can get a Dokkan Fest or an LR.
Yeah. No, Caulifla, yeah, 100% sure. Or I think Kefla should have an LR too. I feel like LR Kefla would be freaking pog.
The biggest one, baby Vegeta, Super Baby 1 and 2.
Yeah. You know it was coming.
We are 9 years in, and like that baby should have dropped for Tanabata this year, not Omega.
Forever ago. Yep.
Because that Goku, that is from that fight. So why did we not get a baby or a baby Vegeta?
That's just that continuity factor. You can never count on it, right?
Yep.
So
we need a new Beerus.
Oh, we need Hakai Beerus ASAP.
Yep. Full power Bojack, full power Broly, Super Saiyan Blue standalone Gogeta, and these ones are a little bit newer. Cell Max and Beast Gohan. They'll get their shine.
They will.
But I wanted to throw them on there at least. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly standalone. We haven't had a standalone since the LR, the STR LR, and then obviously
we don't have his epic first movie transformation where like the green shit comes out of his mouth and flies everywhere, and Pantera starts freaking. We don't have that.
No, we don't have that.
We need to rally for Pantera and Dokkan, and I stand by it.
Android 13 or a Fusion or like the Fusion 13. We need those.
We do.
Androids 14 and 15, make them a banner unit. The only thing
there's so many things from that movie that would be good.
Yeah, there's them. Oob.
They literally have like Gumku.
Yeah, Oob. He can either be a Dokkan Fest or another banner unit.
Yep.
And then like Android 17 from the Piccolo fight, and give us an Android 21, an actual like Dokkan Fest one.
Do it.
So,
do it.
Like there's a lot there, but there's just so much representation that's just missing from a lot of these units. Like, just give us a theme. Give us a theme and stick to it.
Yep. Give us the consistency.
Yeah, and then also that kind of goes to say with the next point, we can kind of go through it because we already talked about it. Inconsistent banner units, make them support the category or the Dokkan Fest that they released with, because they've been terrible all year.
Yeah, we just hit that. Yep.
Animation inconsistency.
I think this one's kind of different, and we kind of have to throw them a bone sometimes, because I think it all depends on where the budget's going and like what's coming up and what they have to focus on. Because sometimes it's like, okay, like we've got a unit that's like kind of mid, but right after it we're getting a hype celebration, like the anniversary is coming up, right? Or like, something big, like, okay, there's some things that are kind of mid and they seem kind of rushed, but there's gigantic worldwide's coming up, right? There's this like big celebration. So I think we kind of have to understand that from that perspective as well, that like there's some that are going to be shit and there's some that are going to be good, and it might be due to some external factors that may or may not be in their control. And I'm not saying give them a complete pass on it, because I do agree I would love to see like increased consistency across the board and like the animations and stuff like that. But overall, it's pretty good.
But
it's pretty good.
But
I feel
just I'll say, just like to me, like I feel like they should have done the introduction to the Worldwide Celebration, Goku and Vegeta. Should have gave them a better intro animation. Theirs was honestly probably one of the worst ones I've seen.
I'm going to actually make a very controversial take and say I did not actually think that a lot of the original Dokkan animations from the Worldwide were very good. And I actually preferred the ones that were more so ripped from like the show or like the manga, like stuff like that. I thought that those were better.
Well, so here's the thing. So the base form Blues, I don't like their animations. They feel very clunky. But but when they made them into Vegito, and they did the, they did their Dokkan originals, they killed it. Why couldn't they do that with the base form as well?
I thought they were pretty good. I completely agree with that. And let's not even get into the fact that you like barely ever see the guy, but that's for another day. That's I agree with that. I just thought that especially when you're playing on ×2, it's also a difference too. Like when they first unveiled animations, like wasn't that crazy? I think they look better like once you put it on 2x speed. Like you don't notice it as much, and like 99% of the player base plays on ×2 speed.
Yep.
So it kind of cleans that up, like where you might notice it a little bit more. Like there's certain frames that are kind of ugly, like if you play ×1 speed. But guess what? Nobody plays ×1 speed because the game would take twice as long.
Yep.
So instead, you play on ×2 speed. If you do that, the animations they don't look too bad. Like I actually particularly like Merge Zamasu's super attack. I actually think his super attacks came out pretty well. Like sped up, I like Merge Zamasu's super attacks quite a bit. But
I just think like the Trunks final like sword / kill that was terrible. I'm sorry, but that was terrible.
Bro, it's like if you put them next to the Dokkan Fest that was released like 5 years ago, and then you put it next to this one that's new. It's like his sword looks like a freaking like a piece of wood. Like it's like you're in like playing Zelda with like the wooden stick compared to like the Master Sword. It's just like it's so much better. It's night and day, and it's like 5 years old. It's like, okay, guys, like I understand like they're trying, and I hope that the quality of the Dokkan original animations improves. And I'm not saying by any means that it's like awful. Trunks is pretty bad. It is pretty egregious, but I mean, some of them are like acceptable, right? And I just hope that they're able to improve over time.
Yep, which I hope so as well. And so I've only got like a couple real quick topics left. We brushed over this one before, Easy A and consistency.
Yes.
I know we talked about that. Obviously, we're tired of getting really good ones, and then we're getting really bad ones. Same goes for Sub Easy A. Some are good, some are bad. Just keep them consistent. Stop making one worse than the other when they should just keep getting better and better and better.
Yep.
And then we also talked about to stop Easy A units like immediately after giving them Awakening.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah.
As I say, I kind of we talked on that one before, which is give them their Easy A kit as their Awakening, and then make them better later on, whether they're not usable in the current meta. And the last two topics that I actually have: bring back 50% support units for one.
Hey, we're back.
So here is what I have: bring back 50% support units, make their banners daily and rotate them daily, and give us a reason to have blue coins. Because the last time that these 50% units have been here was 2 years ago, in April of 2021.
Yep. I would say, so my idea for that, you already know my idea for that, is basically what I would do if I were them. Again, you know what I'd do? I'd throw them in the general pool. Toss them in the general, and then you can just, ride with the general, Shaquille O'Neal style. You throw them in there, and you just put them in the general pool. So you can just pull them. You're just randomly pulling, and boom, Kid Gohan shows up, and you're like, oh my god, this is the best day of my life.
Well, like I said, to me, I feel like if they just dropped like the AGL banner on Monday, the Tech one on Tuesday, etc., it has an extra banner for people to summon on if they are done summoning on like, you know what I mean, like. Obviously, not everybody's gonna summon like that, but some new players might come in and be like, "Hey, there's the Tech banners up. Maybe I can get Tech LR Broly from it or something." You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right, and it also kind of brings up another thing that like most people, it's actually a lot of like newer players and stuff don't know is like there's an AGL day, there's a physical day, there's an STR day, there's a tech day, and there's an int day. But most people don't even know like what that is, and it's not very well like put like what day it is.
Yep.
You know, like outside of like the hidden potential orbs, you may not know what day it is, and like that certain events are available like on those days and other days they're not. Like that's actually like I've talked to like quite a few like newer players that actually didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep, because
Like,
they don't really say anything. They don't mention it.
no, that's what I'm saying. So I mean that's another small potential fix that could be fixed. I mean you could just at this point there's so many events just like run them all the time. Like I don't know, but they could just do stuff like that. They couldn't just do that. So, but my idea, I like that idea actually because it does give another like differentiator between the types of days that there are. If they're gonna roll with that, like okay, it's physical day. Here's the physical banner. I think that's fair.
Because the thing is they have the category banners up anyway.
Yeah,
they can drop this one too. Why not?
One. Send it.
And the very last topic that I have is make heroes units good. They fall off.
Oh my God! Yes.
They fall off immediately after release.
No, you're so right. And you know why? You know why, Russia? It's the same problem I have with a lot of these EZAs. Is because they're so damn restrictive. They make it every single time where you can only run them with other superheroes or with other heroes units.
Yep.
You can only run with heroes units. Oh, you got to have Xeno Goku on rotation to make Vegeta good. You got to have Xeno Vegeta on rotation to make Goku good. And it's just like, dog. No, I want to run Xeno Goku on like a Giant 8 Power or, you know, like a Super Saiyan 4 team, like Power Beyond Super Saiyan team, and not have to be forced to run this other douche canoe and bring him along with me. I don't want to. I just want to bring whatever you like, you know, just, I understand there's like certain amounts of like restrictions and stuff like that. It's just naturally going to happen, right? But it's too restrictive. It's just too much for the heroes units. I know everybody love summoning on heroes banners because they're guaranteed featured. They're a lot of fun. Yep. Everybody looks forward to it, right? Like I know you do. I do. Yeah, we have so much fun summoning on heroes banners. Everybody does. It's great. But they immediately fall off. You're absolutely right.
And the problem is their kits are just way too restricted to either time travelers or crossover or Dragon Ball heroes. Like you're stuck to those three categories essentially. And then the other problem with them is the kits themselves are just not good enough to run with any other any other units on any other teams because their links also just aren't as good. And
you're totally right.
I feel like they should just make them generally just better, let them fit on more teams, and just let them run in the current meta. You know what I mean? Like have them be good enough in the meta for, I don't even care if you make them good for 4 to 5 months, you know, like before the next batch of units come out. Just make them good, not like this last batch that we got were just not very good. They lasted a whole month and then people forgot about them and nobody even runs them anymore.
Yeah, like they were pretty hype on release, but they fell off so fast.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is just make good hype ones. Give me, you know, it's heroes. Give me that Super Saiyan 4 Kaioken Vegito. Give me that Super Saiyan Blue, like UI looking Gogeta. Give me that Super Saiyan 3 Rose. You know, just like give me that UI Goku in like the outfit from like the gods and like Whis and the angels.
Yeah, and so yeah, like we're gonna get and like so a lot of those things like we're gonna get. It's just a matter of I think the way that they release them is like every like it's like backwards, right? Like they're like pretty far like in retrospect, right? Like so like if I'm correct, like they are not like immediately tailing the show. So I think next one shouldn't it be like the limit breaks, like the limit break Super Saiyan 4s, like it's like shouldn't they be next like Vegito?
I think so.
Because we got
they skip around a lot is the problem.
Yeah, they skip around a lot, and then it's just like they gave us like Black Janemba, who should be awakening this year, right? Yeah, that's gonna be hype.
Him and Golden Metal Cooler.
Golden Metal Cooler,
and that's the other thing is stop dropping these units as SR or as SSRs and just give them the awakenings right away. Like,
give me Awakening next year if you want. Just
yeah.
don't do like a level 100 bulk crap.
Yeah, just stop doing that because they're just literally not usable. Like, those units were literally not usable for an entire year.
Yeah, it's like almost like they want to like they realize they're like, okay, we're never probably going to release this unit ever again, but we want to make it relevant 3 times. How do we do it? Oh, we're going to release them level 100 on release, and then we're going to awaken them, and then another like few years later we're going to EZA them, so they actually have 5 years of shelf life.
Yeah.
that's really, I honestly think that's like what the thought process is behind doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
they're never going to release like a Black Janemba summonable unit ever again, probably.
Yeah, which, I mean, we can put that in the survey. I highly doubt that they're ever going to do anything with them because it's only like a yearly thing. But hey, you never know.
Yep, absolutely.
But I was going to say, those are all of my points, and I feel like we have a really good list here.
Do you think it's comprehensive? Do you think we've talked long enough? I don't.
I feel like we've talked a lot, and I feel like we could keep talking longer if time allowed us. But this one actually ended up being a way longer one than I think we both even thought it was going to be, because there was just so much to talk about on this like last part of it. And,
yeah, no, seriously.
And like I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. I'm going to take all of these ideas that we've had. I'm going to actually like update them and clean them up so they're like comprehensible. And I'm just going to pin this as the first comment for this video. And then that way, if people want to like take any of these ideas and put them into like their survey when we get one, it's there. It's pinned. It's there. I mean, me personally, I'm going to go back to this video every time. I'm just going to keep copy and pasting until they finally just like give me what I want.
Give me my stuffs.
But I was gonna say, if anybody else has any other like ideas that we didn't discuss that you guys would want to see, we would love to hear it, love to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Drop them below along with the categories. That's what I'm interested in. I want to hear the ideas, and then I want to see like what's the unit that you guys think of the categories are messed up on them.
Yep, and that's gonna be a good one. But I was gonna say, other than that, if you guys like this video, if you guys like these kind of like discussion videos that we do, leave a like, comment on it, subscribe for more. And you know, I'm sure Lucas will be back, and me and him will do some more of these.
Yep. Oh, we'll be talking. We'll be doing stuff.
So Lucas, I appreciate you being on here, man. But I think this is where we got to part ways.
I think it is, buddy. I'm afraid so.
But thank you guys. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.